The kids of Tori Spelling are at the center of everything, from Hollywood royalty to shocking real life. The ex-teen star's 5 kids are growing up quickly in 2025, but their lives are anything but normal. The drama going on behind the scenes is crazy, with living situations changing all the time and intense co-parenting battles with Dean McDermott. This is how things are now for Tori's kids. Liam Aaron, 18 years old. Liam Aaron McDermott, the oldest child of actress and television star Tori Spelling, turned 18 in March 2025. This was a big event in his life that made his famous mom cry. At the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards, Tori was honest about how strange it is for her to understand that her first child is now an adult. It made her think and feel proud at the same time, especially as she talked about how much Liam has changed physically, mentally, and even vocally. During her red carpet interview, she joked, "I'll hear this deep, booming voice in the hallway, and I'll think someone has broken into my house. Then I see that it's Liam." Tori said that her son's change has caught her off guard more than once in the past few months. Not just in the way he speaks, but also in the way he walks, mature, sure of himself, and stable. She also said that he wasn't the same little boy who used to get up at midnight and sleep with his toy dinosaur. "I still can't believe he's a man." The rest of the family feels the same way, especially Beau, Tori's youngest boy. Supposedly showed some worry about what Liam's future might hold after he turns 18. Tori says that Beau recently asked, "Does this mean Liam's going to move out now?" with wide eyes. Tori felt sad when she heard the question, so she quickly told her younger son that Liam wasn't leaving just yet. She laughed. "He's 18 years old, but he's still my baby, and he still raids the fridge at midnight." Even though her family has gone through a lot of big changes, Tori stays grounded and is very proud of how well all of her kids have handled the changes. Tori and Dean McDermott, her husband of almost 20 years, have been separated in public for a few years now. They are still raising their 5 kids, Liam, Stella, Hattie, Finn, and Beau. Even though their relationship has changed a lot, Tori has stressed how important it is to be steady and healthy co-parents, especially as their kids become young adults. "Dean and I have really found a way to work together as a team and help the kids," she said. "Even though things have gone badly at times, we've always agreed that the kids should come first." She says that Liam is proof of their shared loyalty. Liam is creative and funny, and he's interested in both filmmaking and fashion. But for now, he's focusing on school and exploring his interests before deciding on a job path. When Tori talks about his promise, she beams. He's really smart and kind. "He's the type of kid who will just show up with flowers because he thinks I look tired that day," she said. Although he seems tough and grown up on the outside, he is still very kind and loyal on the inside. She agrees that seeing your child become an adult, especially in public, can be strangely tense. She is very careful of her kids' privacy, even though they are growing up and becoming adults on their own. She said it's hard not to want to keep them in bubble wrap too. On the other hand, "I can't wait to see what kind of people they're becoming, especially Liam. He already has such a strong sense of who he is, and he's just starting out." The important birthday comes at a time when Tori is open to change. She has turned her attention back to her children and her own growth after a whirlwind of media drama, housing problems, and family rebirth. She said, "We've been through some hard times, but we're stronger now." When Liam turns 18, it's like everything comes full circle. "He was born when I was still learning how to be a mom. Now he's teaching me how to be an adult." Tori is still hopeful about her future and the future of her children. She says that Liam's big achievement has made her want to face each new stage with courage and interest. She thought, "If he can handle becoming an adult with that much grace, maybe I can handle becoming a parent with a little more grace too." At the moment, she's not letting go yet. She smiled and said, "He's 18 years old, but he still hugs me before bed. That means everything to me." Stella Doreen, who is 17 years old. In the year 2025, Stella Doreen McDermott is 17 years old and making a big splash as she enters young adulthood. She is the second oldest child of Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. I've never been afraid to be myself. Stella recently turned 17 and wore a look that was both rebellious and glamorous. It was a bold, punk princess style that got a lot of attention and hearts. As her happy mother posted pictures of her on Instagram, she posed with her hair slicked back and streaked with bright pink and jet black. She nailed her driving test and killed this look all in one day, Tori wrote in the text. She is mean and has no fear, and she's going her own way. But there is a more complicated and emotional story behind all the hoopla of that happy moment. One marked by strength, scrutiny, and the hard, sometimes painful things that come with being a public figure. Stella didn't want to be a part of the media frenzy that happened in 2024 when paparazzi pictures of the Spelling McDermott family having fun in an RV went viral. People thought for a long time that Tori and her kids were living in the van full-time because they were having money problems or no place to live. The truth was not nearly as dramatic, but it was still very bad. After some time, Tori explained that they rented the RV for a summer vacation because their home was temporarily unsafe because of a major mold problem. The move was meant to be a short-term escape, not a fixed home. That stop rumors from going around, especially at Stella's school. People close to the family say that Stella's friends believed the tabloid headlines and started making fun of her by asking if she lived in a camper or was now homeless. One of her peers is said to have asked her directly, "Do you now live in an RV?" in front of other people. When people laughed at the question, it hurt a lot. For a young girl who was already dealing with the stress of high school and the added stress of having famous parents, the experience was terrible. Tori later said that hearing about what her daughter went through broke her heart. She said in an emotional interview that being a kid these days is hard enough. The media shows your mom in every magazine and people decide what your life is like. Now bring all of that into the school hallway. Stella, like her mother, has been tougher than most, though. She didn't give up when people judged her or when her friends picked on her. Instead, she leaned into her artistic side and outspoken personality. The punk princess birthday outfit wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a way for her to take back who she was. She was telling herself, "I decide who I am, not anyone else." Her family has noticed that she stays calm and sure of herself, even when there are stories and online chatter about her. Many times, Tori talks about Stella's quiet strength and calls her, "my warrior with a heart of gold." The happy mom says her daughter has an old soul, a sharp mind, and an artist's heart. She is both sensitive and strong. Tori said that she will spend hours drawing clothes or making cupcakes from scratch. That being said, she is the one who will always stand up for the weak. Stella has kept going in school and with her friends, even though there have been problems. Stella has been slowly but surely becoming more independent since she passed her driver's test, which Tori also praised online. After a year of emotional setbacks, learning to drive gave me a new sense of freedom. It was a moment of victory. Tori said it made her feel good about herself. She understood that she had the power to write her own story. No news story can take that away from her. Tori also made it clear that she and Dean want to help their kids grow thick skin while talking openly about how to deal with online rumors and criticism. Co-parenting through the chaos has been hard, but both parents are determined to do it in a graceful way. Dean and I are not together, but when it comes to our kids, we're one. Tori told me that they deserve the best from both of us. Stella has a bright future ahead of her. Fashion and baking are both things she wants to do. She's even talked about opening a rock and roll themed cupcake shop. Some of the things she's looking into will let her talent shine. Even though Stella is still living under a lot of scrutiny, she seems to be getting better at dealing with it and making her own identity on her own terms. Tori laughed and said, "She's 17 going on 30 sometimes." I still see my little girl when she hugs me goodbye or texts me, "I love you, Mom," out of the blue. I never thought Hattie Margaret, who is 13 years old, would become someone as amazing as she is now. Little Hattie Margaret McDermott is only 13 years old, but she already has a lot of mental intelligence and maturity for her age. She played a major part when her parents, Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott, officially split up, which got a lot of attention. In fact, Hattie's quiet strength and honest heart helped her mother face a truth she had been avoiding for a long time: that staying in a relationship that was falling apart wasn't always the best thing for the family. On her podcast, Miss Spelling, Tori talked about this sad part of her life, where she often shares the real, unfiltered parts of her life as a mom, a star, and a woman going through change. In a very moving story, she talked about how Hattie softly but firmly told her to think about leaving Dean. She told her mom, "You deserve to be treated right." Tori stopped and thought about those few words, which were said with the clarity and kindness that only a child who was close to her mother could have. No one was being accused or asked to do something. She knew something was wrong and that her mom deserved better. It was a simple but deep realization. The amazing thing about this moment is that Hattie's love for her father never changed. Tori says that her daughter made it clear that she still really cared about Dean. That being said, she knew that love doesn't always mean staying in a bad position. It was clear to Hattie that years of emotional stress had hurt her parents, as well as her and her brothers. In a rare switch of roles, the kid was the one who told the parent they should choose a healthier path. For Tori, this moment broke her heart and opened her eyes. She said that taking care of the kids was one of the main reasons she stayed married for so long. A feeling that a lot of parents who have troubled relationships can connect to. A strong and often crippling belief is that keeping the family together is always the best thing to do. However, when Hattie shared her point of view, Tori started to understand that staying might have been worse than leaving in this case. "It hit me hard," Tori said on her show. "I promised to keep them safe. But maybe all I did was teach them to settle for less than they deserve." That understanding, which came about because Hattie was brave enough to speak out, was what finally made Tori think twice about what she was doing. It was a turning point for the whole family, not just her. This isn't the first time Hattie has shown how emotionally intelligent she is. Some people who know the Spelling family say that she has always been the one who can feel other people's pain, and naturally tries to reach out. Hattie has stayed grounded, sensitive, and in touch with her feelings even though she lives in a messy, well-known Hollywood home. Since they split up, Tori has often told her kids how strong and emotionally smart they are, but she always talks about Hattie with awe. Tori said, "She's my little mirror." Sometimes I'm too afraid to tell myself what she says, but she does it anyway. Hattie's gentle push to change has become a sign of a bigger change in the way the family works together. Open conversation and being honest about how you feel are finally taking center stage. The fans of Miss Spelling have been very supportive, praising Hattie's growth and Tori's bravery in sharing such private moments. A lot of people have even said that Hattie's words made them think about their own relationships again, showing that the deepest facts don't always come from therapists or experts, but from kids who see the world clearly. Since she and her husband split up, Tori has worked hard to make her home a better place for her kids to grow up, one that is based on honesty instead of duty. Even though the move wasn't smooth, it's clear that Hattie, her brothers, and I are all doing well in a place where we can all be heard and having their feelings understood. People all over the world can relate to Hattie's moment of truth, which she shared in a very public way. It speaks to the desire for our loved ones to be safe, respected, and happy. Her words may have helped more than just her family get better, even if it meant going through hard times. They've shown that kids have the quiet power to teach, heal, and lead with love. 12-year-old Finn Davey. At age 12, Finn Davey McDermott is a big part of the Spelling McDermott family. He may not get as much attention as some of his peers, but he is still a big part of the family's emotional and logistical ups and downs. Finn's toughness, calmness, and quiet strength have kept him steady during some of his family's hardest times, even though the news usually focuses on his older brothers or Tori Spelling herself, including a recent event that put lives in danger and tried their ability to work together when things got tough. At the beginning of 2025, the Los Angeles wildfires spread incredibly quickly and strongly, causing thousands of families to leave their homes with only minutes to spare. One of them was Tori Spelling. Later, she talked about the scary experience on her podcast, Miss Spelling. She talked about how she packed up all 5 of her kids, including Finn, as well as several pets and emergency supplies in less than 30 minutes. At that time, the family members had to work together quickly, keep their emotions in check, and trust each other. Finn, who was just starting to become a teenager at the time, found the experience both strange and confusing. He didn't have much time to do anything as smoke and fire got closer to their neighborhood. As Tori put it, the evacuation process was like a real-life game of Tetris, with kids, pets, bags, and crates all trying to get into their already full car. During that crazy time, family rules and habits were thrown out the window, and staying alive became the only thing that mattered. People close to Finn's family say that he was calm under pressure, but Finn's exact words during the escape have not been made public. A child who naturally tries to stay calm instead of freaking out. Tori has noticed that some of her kids show their feelings more openly during tough times, but Finn tries to keep his feelings to himself and help in quieter, more practical ways. He watches out for his younger brother Bo and protects him. After getting out of the danger zone, the family stayed in an Airbnb. They were thankful to be safe, but they were still very upset. The temporary living wasn't very nice and wasn't perfect for a family of 6 plus several animals, but it was safe, so that was enough. Finn and his brothers had to sleep in small spaces and deal with the general discomfort of being moved around with unexpected patients. To use Tori's words, it wasn't exciting, but the kids didn't mind. It didn't bother Finn at all. He never said anything bad. Stella helped with a lot of the planning during the disaster. Tori said that Finn's bigger sister stepped up in a big way. Even though Stella took calls and helped her mom with the details, Finn was just as important to her on an emotional level. He helped keep the younger kids calm, took care of his own stress without adding to it, and kept up a quiet unity that said a lot. Finn helped organize some of his family's things at the Airbnb in the days after the wildfire scare, which showed a sense of duty that belied his age. Being on the edge of childhood and adolescence is a very important time in his life. This is when a young person starts to form their own ideas about the world and what it means to be a part of a family when things go wrong. And it was clear that he was becoming more mature during times like the escape. Even though Finn is more private than some of his brothers, Tori and people who follow her story have noticed his quiet, calming presence. Finn is quietly brave, and she knows she can count on him when things go wrong. She has talked about this on a show and in social media posts. She once said that Finn isn't the loudest person in the room, but he is one of the fastest. Finn is a calm center in a home that is often the center of attention from the media, emotional ups and downs, and constant changes, especially since Tori and Dean McDermott's breakup. He learned how to stay centered even when things aren't clear around him, maybe before most kids his age. Even though Finn's story doesn't make the news, his quiet help during the escape due to the wildfire and in everyday family life shows how he grew into a thoughtful, strong young man. It's possible that his steady empathy will continue to shape not only his own life, but also the lives of those closest to him in the years to come. Bo Dean is 8 years old. The youngest of Tori Spelling's 5 kids, Bo Dean McDermott, is now 8 years old and may be the most open about how she feels. Before most kids even start to understand how complicated family life can be, Bo has already seen a lot of change. From his parents' divorce to sudden disasters like the wildfires in Los Angeles in 2025, Bo's life has been full of times that have tested, scared, and finally changed him. His soft heart and natural sensitivity have shown through it all, making him a very loved figure not only among his family, but also among fans who followed their lives. Tori often says that Bo is her emotional measure because she can tell how people are feeling in a room before they even say a word. That care was especially clear when his older brother Liam turned 18 in March 2025, which was a big event. Liam's family was happy that he turned 18, but Bo couldn't get rid of the fear that his brother might move out at any time. He looked at his mom with wide eyes and asked, "Is Liam going to leave now?" When it was quiet. Later, Tori told this story on her podcast, Spelling. She said it broke her heart and showed her how deeply Bo feels the changes going on around him. Instead of ignoring his question, Tori answered it honestly and with kindness, letting Bo know that Liam wasn't leaving just yet. It was a touching example of the hard, quiet work that it takes to raise a sensitive child, especially in a family that is splitting up and changing. Tori knew that her older children might think about the breakup or talk about their feelings more freely, but Bo often shows how he feels through questions and actions, which are small things that show big feelings. The Los Angeles wildfires in 2025, which were one of the scariest things the family had to go through, put that mental weakness to the test. As the fire got dangerously close to their area, Tori had just 30 minutes to get her 5 kids and several pets out of there. Chaos reigned in the room, with bags flying everywhere and crates being pushed into corners. Cats meowed and dogs barked, as kids try to figure out how to go from regular life to emergency mode so quickly. Bo was put in the middle, squished into the back seat with his brothers and the animals in cages. Tori later said it felt like a crazy game of Tetris. The event could have been very upsetting for an 8-year-old, and in many ways it was. It was interesting to Tori to see how each of her children behaved in different ways during the ordeal. Some people took on tasks, like Stella, who helped with planning, but he stayed quiet and watched everything with wide eyes while holding his favorite toy animal nervously. The family made it safely to an Airbnb, even though it was a tight fit. It was there that Bo's mood started to calm down. Once the fear was over, he started to ask again, this time about more than just the fire. He wanted to know about safety, home, and when they could come back. He deals with big, scary things by being curious, which helps him make sense of them. To make him feel better, Tori, who is always honest but also speaks in a way that is appropriate for his age, told him that their family would always find a way to be safe together, even when the world seems unsafe. When things calmed down afterward, Bo showed amazing strength. He helped his mom feed the animals. He laid down on the floor of the temporary home with his brothers and shared blankets with them. He even made jokes with them. Tori told the podcast audience that kids don't always have to be loud or pushy to make an emotional impact. She praised him for being stronger than he thought. Bo is a special and loved member of the family because he sees the world with a mix of fear, wonder, tenderness, and a desire to be close. As the family continues to heal mentally and physically by co-parenting with Dean McDermott and moving out of their longtime family home, Bo continues to be a symbol of how strong people can be when they are weak. His life experiences are changing him in ways that you might not fully see yet, but Tori thinks that his heart, which is so open and sensitive to other people's feelings, will one day be his best quality. We live in a world that values confidence and loudness a lot. Bo shows us that power can be quiet. Sometimes it lives in a worried question, a squeezed hand as you run away from a wildfire, or a joke that makes someone laugh in a busy car. Bo is the youngest of the Spelling McDermott children, but he is often the most emotional member of the family. A little boy who feels everything deeply and loves very much. What do you think about Tori Spelling's kids? Please tell us what you think in the box below. We hope this video was helpful for you. Kindly click like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Glad you watched, and see you in the next film. Leaving.